All right, let's dive into a story from a place that's known for two very different things: absolute, breathtaking beauty and just bone-chilling horror. Today, we're exploring the legend of the haunted tree of Konkan.
So, first, I want you to picture the Konkan region of Maharashtra. It is just stunning. You've got the lush Sahyadri mountains, these incredibly dense, beautiful forests. I mean, people travel from all over just to soak in the scenery. It really is a paradise.
But Konkan has this other side, a much darker reputation. They say that pretty much every family in the region has their own true horror story, something passed down through generations. And these aren't just silly campfire tales. In a place where the forests are so ancient and deep, these stories are warnings, and they're woven into the very fabric of the community.
And that brings us to the story we're getting into today. It's about a young man named Aniket, a road that's supposedly cursed, and a single haunted tree. It's a legend that's basically a living warning. Whatever you do not travel that path after dark. Now, at the very heart of this legend is a supernatural being known as a Chudoyel. And for anyone who might not be familiar, in South Asian folklore, this is the spirit of a vengeful woman, a powerful, malevolent witch that you really do not want to cross. So our story starts with Aniket and his parents. It's an annual family tradition for them. Every year for the holy festival, they drive to their ancestral village. And to try and beat all that crazy holiday traffic, Aniket decides, you know what, let's drive through the night. He figures he'll just rely on Google Maps to guide them through all those winding Konkan roads.
The journey started off just fine, totally smooth. But as they got deeper and deeper into the Konkan region, their modern tech was about to lead them straight toward a very ancient danger. And then, all of a sudden, they hit a roadblock. The main highway was just stopped, a complete standstill. But hey, no problem, right? Google Maps had a solution, a small, unpaved shortcut that cut right through the rural countryside. It looked like the perfect way to save some time.
But just as Aniket started to make that turn, his mother grabbed his arm. And the look on her face was pure fear. She told him, "Son, don't use this road." She was serious. She insisted it would be better to turn the car around, even drive all the way back home, than to take this specific path at night. And then she told him why. She told him the local legend. Years and years ago, a powerful tantric priest had performed this intense ritual to trap a terrifying Chudoyel, binding her spirit to one particular tree on this exact road. But that priest had just recently passed away, and with his death, everyone believed the spell was broken. The witch was now free and hungry for revenge. Aniket, being a modern guy from the city, he just laughed it off. He told his mom it was just some spooky story they tell to scare travelers, and pointed out that his dad was already asleep in the back. So dismissing her fears as just superstition, he turned the car onto the forbidden road.
And almost instantly, things started to go wrong. As you can see here, the whole situation just fell apart, and fast. First, Google Maps started glitching out, constantly rerouting them, sending them in circles. Then, around 10 p.m., the car slams into this massive pothole. There was a huge jolt, the engine just died completely, and Aniket felt this fine red powder dust his face from a branch hanging over the car. In all the chaos, he just brushed it away without thinking. They were stranded.
Well, after finding some shelter for the night at a kind local's house, they finally made it to their village the next day. But Aniket just couldn't shake that strange feeling from the night before. And that's when he learned the most terrifying secret of all.
He pulled his cousin aside and just laid it all out there. The weird routes, the car dying, his mother's strange warnings, and his cousin just listened. And the look on his face told Aniket this was way more than just a coincidence.
His cousin then revealed this shocking truth. He said, "Your mother's grandfather? He was a pundit." But here's the thing, he wasn't just any pundit. He was the very same tantric priest who had trapped that Chudoyel in that tree all those years ago. So Aniket's own great-grandfather's death had been the thing that broke the spell. The witch was free. And in these kinds of legends, curses are tied to bloodlines. She wasn't just haunting some random road. She was seeking revenge on the descendants of the man who imprisoned her. Anika and his mother were her primary targets. Now, even after that terrifying revelation, Aniket had no choice. His car was still sitting out there, abandoned on that cursed road, and he had to go back for it. But this time, his cousin insisted on going with him. So as dusk started to fall, they went back to the car. The air was heavy,
and the silence of the forest was just deafening. Standing there right next to that eerie tree from his mother's story, Aniket felt this mix of skepticism and this growing, creeping dread.
On this weird, defiant impulse, he looked up into the tree's branches, and that's when he saw her. Sitting on a thick branch was a woman with long, unbound hair, rage just burning in her eyes, and red sindoor powder on her forehead. She was staring right at him, and in that one moment, he knew that red powder that had mysteriously fallen on his face the night before, it had come from her. She started to come down, moving with this completely unnatural speed. Pure panic set in. He didn't run for the car, he ran the other way, deeper and deeper into the dark forest. He could hear her right above him, leaping from branch to branch, the sound of cracking wood and her laughter echoing through the trees, getting closer and closer. Just as she was about to get him, this deafeningly loud car horn just blared through the forest. His cousin had seen what was happening and just laid on the horn. That sudden noise broke the witch's focus for just a split second, but that was all he needed. Aniket scrambled back to the car and they sped away.
So they escaped the forest, but the horror? Oh, it wasn't over, not by a long shot. The encounter left its mark, and it led to one final unsettling discovery that made the whole thing even more sinister.
When they got back to the village, they found Aniket's mother had suddenly gotten sick. She was burning up with a dangerously high fever. It was like the witch's influence had reached her, even from miles away.
But this is the final chilling twist. As they were finally leaving the village to go home, Aniket ignored the GPS and took the main highway, bracing for that huge traffic jam that started this whole mess. And what did he find? The highway was completely empty. There had been no traffic jam. There was absolutely no reason for them to have taken that shortcut in the first place. It was as if something had deliberately lured them down that haunted road. Aniket and his family, they still visit their village every year, but they have never, ever taken that road again. Which really leaves us with the question, right? Are these stories just folklore, meant to keep people on the main roads? Or, in this world of GPS and modern technology, do the dense forests of Konkan hide ancient secrets far, far darker than we can possibly imagine?